Hello everyone, I'm Jalila Starr. Welcome to my weekly messages. Today the topic is the 9D perspective on Ascension in 2012, part 2. And we'll be covering two topics, the light body and the rapture. Let's start with the light body, that's the easier one. The light body, from the Nibiruan perspective, is the body that is created as you go through emotional clearing and alter your DNA from carbon to crystalline. So it's a crystalline body. We call it light body because this version of you holds light. It is light. It is not carbon-based. You create this light body through your emotional clearing. And it's emotional clearing at a level that activates and uses the higher level of the endocrine glands. The endocrine glands, in particular the thymus, have a dual purpose. The Nibiruans, when they created the human form 262,000 years ago, 63,000 years ago, they created it with a dual purpose. From a physical level, it controls the emotional field of the body. It's responsible for the emotional field of the body. That's why when women get their hormones all whacked out during menopause, they get a little nutty. Nice little catch there. And then from the higher level, it works to achieve ascension and communication with your guides. The thymus is the master in all this ascension work, because its purpose is to transmute anger, shame, guilt, blame, resentment, remorse, all the lower chakra frequency energies into the frequency of compassion. And compassion is the great nullifier from a higher perspective. It is the frequency above all others because it is the frequency of the void. So it takes that energy, that anger or whatever, and neutralizes it back to raw energy. When you do that, the issue gets neutralized. And from a perspective of your reality, it basically cleans the mirror. It wipes it clean. So that issue now is able to transform and go away, or it goes away, but it also can transform into something very wonderful, like an antagonistic relationship, that now that person comes back into your life in a much more benevolent manner. I've seen this happen so many times, and I work with clients for years, and they've seen it happen so many times when they're able to use that thymus to transmute. So as you use it over and over again in emotional clearing, it takes a little piece of carbon DNA that was connected to that issue, because all your issues are encoded in your body, in your DNA, and switches it to carbon, because that's what the frequency of compassion does. It neutralizes it. And carbon is indicative of lower frequency energy, like the anger, shame, or the guilt involved in that situation. So when you remove the anger, shame, and guilt, all that's left is light. It's gone. It's a void. So that's what creates the light body. Okay, let's move on to the rapture. The Nibiruan perspective on the rapture is it is similar to what we hear about in the Bible, about two people standing in a field and one will be taken and one will not. And what will determine who gets taken is whether they're of the chosen or the elect. It is similar to that, but it is not the same. And here's how it is different. In the Nibiruan perspective, you choose whether you go and where you go. It is not up to any religion. It is not up to whether or not, you're a good little Christian or a good little Muslim or whatever it is. It does not matter. What matters is your inner work. You can be of any religion. If you're doing your inner work and you're doing your emotional clearing, which is clearing your fears, which really have nothing to do with a lot of religion. It's just about, what you brought into this life to work on. If you're doing your clearing, you're increasing your vibratory rate. And the degree to which you increase your vibratory rate determines where you end up when a certain event occurs. So you choose. You become chosen because you choose yourself to do this work, to do your emotional clearing work. The elect, instead of it being, if you're a good Christian and you're worthy from their standards, then you get to go with them. Then that is you elect yourself. You elect to do the work. So it isn't exclusionary. It isn't proprietary. Everybody has the option. It's whether you exercise it and to what degree you exercise it that matters. Now that event is, they say it's the return of Jesus Christ. Well, if you look at the superwave coming out of the galactic core, which is a very high pro-evolutionary energy, it vibrates at thousands of times faster than our current, 10.2, 13.1 vibratory rate of the planet. So imagine we're at, say, 10.2, and we enter into a field of energy that's vibrating at 2,500 hertz a second. Whoa. That means that everything that you think will manifest 2,500 times faster. Now, if you notice that what you think is starting to manifest faster already, imagine 2,500 times faster. What that would look like is that people would create whole worlds based on their collective group consciousness. Now, going back to the Christ's return, the Nibiruan's perspective is the return of Christ is a return of consciousness. It's not a person, it's a consciousness, a state of being. And that galactic superwave of high neutrino energy is indicative of that. In other words, you have to really rise up to that level to get through that at the highest level. So that means you have to become more compassionate, more loving. And that was indicative of Christ, right? So you have to reach that level of Christed energy to make it through and create a reality of the highest level where there's harmony and diversity, where the problems that we have today no longer exist, where you have a world that has technology to clean it up immediately. All of that is possible. And like I said, you're the one who chooses. You're the one who elects yourself to do the work. So that's our perspective on the rapture. Now, final notes. I'm going to be doing an emotion clearing teleconference on May 18th. I know I put it on the 19th on the message originally, but I screwed up. It's on the 18th, Wednesday the 18th. You're still welcome to join. It will be teleconference, Skype only, no chat box this time. So I hope you will join me and we'll continue our emotion clearing work together. And because you're going to be receiving this tomorrow, happy belated Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. I hope you have a good one. And I will talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.